Thank you for coming today and being with us to share in the celebration of my mum's life, Margaret Welch. I also want to say thank you to those that will be watching this service by DVD or video on YouTube in future weeks and months to come, thanks to Nick and Sue. And you will realise why, because we have relatives who are at this moment abroad, and it will be nice for them to be with us. Even though there's a small number here, there may be a larger number who eventually do share in this service. Mum was a mum to Susan and I. She was a mother-in-law to Nick and to Anne. And she was a well-loved nana to Sarah, Rachel and Mark and Philip and Charlotte. And also in recent days to Rachel and Sarah's husbands, Dave and Dan. Today, though, is the 4th anniversary of my dad's death. And so it's very poignant for us as a family that actually we celebrate the life of Mum today and lay her to rest with Welch, her husband of 53 years. Our family believed that something of Mum also died the day Dad died. And a wooden block calendar in the dining room was always kept at October the 22nd. Mum's life touched many people. And even in recent months, when much of the quality of life had been taken from Mum, she still added to people's lives. This is a testament to her friendly, kind and hospitable nature. We moved Mum up north to be near us because she could no longer live in her home in Charlton Kings. And she spent the period from the 3rd of June 2010 to the 5th of October 2010 at either the Sunrise Nursing Home in Bramhall or in Stepping Hill Hospital on 2 separate occasions. The nurses, doctors and assistants at the hospital told us what a pleasure it was to care for Mum. And we also received a lovely card from Sunrise signed by 15 staff, which conveyed the same message. I want to read you a tribute by Mary Kelly, who was the general manager of Sunrise in Bramhall. And she only stayed in this home over a period of 60 days in two different spells. But this is the tribute that they said of Mum. Dear David, thank you for the opportunity to pay tribute to your lovely Mum, Mrs. Welch. Although Margaret was with us in Sunrise for a relatively short period of time, she made an extraordinary impact on those who cared for her. Despite challenging health problems, we found her positive and cheerful disposition, and her wonderful smile gave her the remarkable quality of making people feel happy to be with her. She really did uplift our spirits, even though it was part of our role to raise hers. Margaret was a prime example of what we can learn from the older generation. Even from the confines of a bed, she displayed tolerance, sense of fun, love for her family and others, and the importance of her Christian faith. It was truly a pleasure and privilege to have known and cared for her, and she will be very missed by all. Take care, our thoughts are with you. Kind regards, Mary. This testimony and others like it, to me, highlight that it's not what we have in life or the position we actually hold in life that's important, but actually who we are as an individual. My mum could not eat, wash, walk, or go to the toilet herself, but still, by who she was, she touched the lives of some of the people who were caring for her. I also want to read out a tribute from my son Mark, who is the only member of the family who can't be with us today because he's living in Japan. Mark did come back from Japan in June, and he saw his nana, and it was a big boost to her, and I'm sure it enabled her to come through at a very difficult period when she nearly died in June. Hi Dad, how are you all doing today? Pray everything is going smoothly. Here are a few words from me I would like you to share at Nana's funeral. When I reflect on what Nana meant to me, she was a loving grandmother, always on the lookout from her house when we came to visit, and greeted us with a cheery smile and "Hello dear" and a kiss. Then, when we left, she would stand waving until we were out of sight. Her love was sincere. She was caring and generous to a fault. "How much pie would you like?" "This much." "Custard, ice cream, or a bit of both?" Meal times with Nana and Grandad were fond childhood memories for me, never short of ham sandwiches, cherry tomatoes and crisps, trips to the Lantern, or her favourite, the 12 Bells. A trip down to Cheltenham would surely result in gaining a few pounds, not only in weight, but also I went home knowing I had a Nana who cared and regarded her loved ones as special people. For everything she gave to us and did for us was out of love for her family. She was a strong and bold woman. Hearing stories about her childhood made me think how incredibly determined and driven she was not to give up on life. Thankfully, one day she met Grandad and they built a wonderful family together, sticking it out through ups and downs. She fought right to the end. Now she has parted this life and gone to a better place. I wish to be there today to pass on these words to her in memory of an inspirational life and celebrate the legacy she has left behind to us all. I love you, Nana. I know I cannot be there in person today, but the marathon I am running this December in Okinawa, I will run in memory of you. You always believed in me and helped me come this far, where I am today. So I cannot thank you enough for your blessing. You are amazing. Bye-bye. A lovely tribute from a son who really loves his Nana. And this is a bit of my tribute. I'm going to share my tribute, and I want to highlight 6 qualities that I saw in Mum, and I'm sure there were many more. And I'm going to break off after quality 3 to let Sarah share a few words, and then I'll come back and share the rest after her. The 6 qualities I want to highlight about Mum's life are 1, her courage, 2, her generosity and kindness, 3, her forgiving spirit, 4, she was never short of a parental word of rebuke or correction, 5, she sowed the seeds of faith and good moral values in my life, and finally, her hospitality and friendship. Firstly, her courage. Life throws up many challenges to all of us, and Mum certainly had a fair share. She had a very difficult home life, so much so that I never actually saw her family. And I believe that was not through bad motives, but from protecting us from stuff that she didn't want us to be targeted. She had to live through the difficult years of the Depression and in the 1930s, and then the Second World War. And in her early marriage, Dad sadly had polio. And through that, he came very close to losing his job, and that would have caused Mum and Dad to have lost their family home at that time in Hooghly. Not long after or about that time, my mum also had the sad experience of having a stillborn baby, a baby boy called Martin, in 1955, and Susan came along in 1957. Further on, in 1979, September, a month after Sarah was born, her first grandchild, Dad had a stroke, and that affected his health from there on. Although thankfully he got back to work in 2 months, and Mum then nursed him in his 70s when he sadly developed different stages of dementia.